Good morning, YouTubers. Me again. Who else would it be on my channel? Today is a work project, not necessarily a fun project. I have been trying my bestest to get to the Corvette. Just can't get there from here. But this does limit my projects down to only 9,621 left. So we're getting there. But nonetheless, this is a 73 satellite, Plymouth satellite. For you young guys, Plymouth is something that used to exist back in the day. The Challenger was a Dodge originally. So, well, I guess it's still a Dodge now. Scratch that. Plymouth used to make a Barracuda, which was the Challenger's Challenger. Anyway, nonetheless, this was what they considered a B-body. It is a satellite / they made Roadrunners, they made GTXs. Those are all in the B-body family. And then, of course, if you go back into the 60s, they got better, honestly, in my opinion. But some people love these things. But this one, unfortunately, is a parts donor. And her engine and her transmission need to go elsewhere. So this is going to be my project for today. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do anything what I consider fun. This is work for me. But it is going to be work for me, but fun for somebody else. So that's what I am. I'm in the making fun for other people business. And hopefully every once in a while I get to have some fun. So I'm still working towards that, but I still got, like I said, 9,621 other projects. So that I'm going to have to just clear my schedule and work on the Corvette anyway. Because I'm running off the lift. I'm tired of looking at it up there. But here we go. We're going to do this. It's going to be simple. It's going to be fast. Well, I hope it's going to be fast. The engine is already apart. The guy just wants the block. I've already taken the heads off and everything. So it's a matter of yanking the block. I'm going to yank the transmission with it and the drive shaft and anything else that I think might be pertinent to not having to take it off later and have to crawl under this thing. Because once they've been sitting outside for a while, they tend to sink into the ground, you know. And it's, well, you'll see, because part of this video, which I shot before now, is actually me getting this out of the ground, getting some tires on it. And then even eventually, once I got it to the driveway, some of the tires were locked up, and so we had to unlock that. So there we go. One of them broke free on its own. Yay! The rear one wasn't playing nice, so we had to fix that. So enough talking. Let's get started. For those of you who have been watching the channel, it's no surprise that when I'm not putting something back on, I just kind of hack it off. And then the second thing you'll notice is I tend to do, the hard stuff first. This is not necessarily the hard stuff first, but we'll be getting to that. But I've reused exhaust. If you watch the Gremlin video, I actually reused the exhaust off of one of these exact cars. I think it was a Charger, but basically the same car. No, I think it was a Saturn. Well, anyway, actually, for whatever reason, I thought it was this one, but evidently not, because it's still here. But I did use an exhaust off of another B-body for the Gremlin, and it worked out pretty good. So I like to save them if they're in good shape. This one's not bad. A little rusty on the outside, but not bad. So we're going to save on this baby. I think I'm going to cut it here in front of the clamp, because the muffler is kind of the worst part of this whole thing. So we're just going to cut this off. Honestly, I don't know what they're making the exhausts on these out of, but I cut the one off of the last one and put it in the Gremlin, and this piping is thicker than just exhaust tubing for whatever reason. I don't know what they made it out of, but it's pretty tough. Golly, what causes that? It's crinkle somehow, I guess. Well, this might be the reason I was having such a hard time trying to cut through all that weld. So, lesson learned, get a little further away from the joint. Now it's time for the drive shaft. You know, it's in neutral, and I was just tugging on it. It should spin, and it was spinning in the driveway to get it here, rolling. So, why oh why is the drive shaft not turning? Why oh why indeed? I cannot tell because I'm not looking that way. But I'll tell you in a few minutes. This was the beginning of the end for these cars. One, these are 13 millimeter, not half inch. So it's when they were just starting to cross over to metric. Yay. So it's mixed. This is probably the only metric bolts in the entire car, to be honest with you. And it's got this ridiculous weight. What? Why? They've been building transmissions, the same exact 904 transmission for years, and didn't have those. I don't get it. Just like modern cars, you take apart modern cars, and there's like 9 million things that don't really need to be there. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. Now, you might ask, gee, Dave, why are you messing with that thing? It's doesn't do anything. Well, here's the problem. This cross member, it may look removable, but there's two torsion bars right here in these sides. If I take this out, I've got to take the torsion bars out. And I don't feel like messing with all that. This thing was a humdinger. They always are, because you can't hardly get to the bolts. And it's a nut and bolt. And it's shallow, so enjoy yourself. And now there's another bracket here that holds it on, which we can get from over here, but it'll come off with the transmission bracket. But the more we get out of the way, the better, because we're going to have to scoot past this. It's not a bad idea to leave this on here to protect the boot if you're going to reuse the transmission. Personally, well, this transmission's been, here, let me show you this. This transmission's been rebuilt. And I guess I could legitimately say that, but check this out. Looky there. It's been rebuilt. October 28th, 1990. So that's rebuilt. I mean, it was, 34 years ago, but it was rebuilt. But in 1990, this baby was like brand new. At first glimpse, this looks like a nightmare because I couldn't get the socket into the... Well, this is just rubber, and it's quite deteriorated too. It was swollen, but also very deteriorated. So, I just got to get a bolt here. I'm going to try, let me see. I think this is all one piece. So I'm going to unscrew it here, and then we're going to take all this out. The joys and pitfalls of working on old cars is layers and layers of dirt and mud and corrosion and stuff. So you got to spend a little time cleaning around stuff. So that you get a good bite on it. And like on that back piece, the head of the bolt was down inside a valley, so I had to kind of chip some of that out of there so I can get that to go on there. It's wonderful, let me tell you. People who work on modern cars, and I get to work on them every once in a while, don't understand this stuff, because most modern cars don't have this kind of stuff. Maybe some of you guys that live up north of Canada, old Dan. I love to watch old Dan. I don't know if he knows who I'm talking about. Maybe some of you do. But he's a down-to-earth guy, Canadian, and he pays like twice as much as everything that we do because he lives in the Great White North. And I can't even get at anything back here. This car's design, no offense, Mopar, but this car's design was kind of funky. I think they made it because technically, if you wanted to, you could drop the entire drivetrain. You take these two big bolts out and the 2 or 4 big bolts out front, and the entire drivetrain, suspension and all, will drop out. Great idea, if you think about it. But how many people can do that? I mean, great for Mopar, but unless you have a lift and a fairly elaborate shop, you're not going to do that, I mean, if I wanted to do, I could do that with this job right now. Just drop the entire suspension out of this car with the engine and transmission intact. But then I want to get the car back out in the yard. So anyway, but yeah, I clean all these up, and I'm going to take this one off. I'm going to take these 4 off, drop all this down, and then Actually, I'm just going to disconnect this, which is loose anyway. Look at that. I'm not going to bother taking this one out because I'll just take the whole transmission mount out with the cross member. So it's not going to fall. It's not going to go anywhere because it's going to hit this pretty solid. Well, it's just going to nip it actually because no, it's got that bracket, so never mind. I ain't going nowhere. All right, so we'll see what that's all made of over there. I think this might be part of it. Nope. I don't know. I don't really understand this whole situation here. But yeah, it might This can. It might go past it. So when we get that far, we'll go ahead and put the transmission jack underneath there. Or should we just go do the engine mounts first so it'll fall off in our teeth? Oh, that's awesome up here. I think we might have to bring this down to earth because I've got exhaust manifolds and everything else in the way up here. Let me think, and we'll figure out what we're going to do. I think we're still going to go for the transmission because I can probably get the motor mounts from up above. We don't need this. Yeah. Well, I do want to get the starter out though, so maybe we'll do that. What do you think? What do you think we should do? All right, here's my strategy. I'm going to take off the transmission lines. I'm going to take off the cable, the speedometer cable, and I'm going to get all this stuff disconnected. We're going to go up top, get all that disconnected. I'm going to drop the starter probably now after I do this. So let's go ahead and pull that off of there, and then we'll take these off. We could just chop them up, but they look like they're going to cooperate, so I'm just going to try taking them off with a wrench. We'll take this off here. That shouldn't be too big a deal either, because this is just speedometer cable, and that's in pretty decent shape too. So we want to keep whatever's in good shape. Get all this disconnected over here. Go top side. We're going to take out the radiator and stuff. I didn't realize that wasn't out yet. Let's get all that out, and then we're going to come back in down here, finish taking this out, and we'll put some kind of a mechanics wire or something across here so that I can drop it down and pull her out. All right, hang tight. Let's get her done. I wanted to point this out because this is one of the things you got to look out for in these old cars. This is a body mount. Okay, this is what's holding it in. Something Wong, that old Chinese guy, Something Wong. All right, this is what it's supposed to look like. And this one's even pretty rusty too, but it's supposed to be a washer holding all this together and a bushing, another bushing. There's no other bushing over here. This is just gonzo. So just keep an eye on that sort of thing, because like I said before, this is holding in the entire front suspension and the whole engine cradle, period. The engine, the transmission, the front suspension, all of that is hinging on this. So yeah, you might want to make sure that's in good shape. Keep in mind on these, there's a smaller nut on the back side, 99.999. Excuse me, I'm talking. The small one will start to unscrew before the top one. It's like a brake line, so you'll have to get, this is 5/8. I believe this is either 1/2 inch or 9/16. And you'll have to grab a hold of that one and kind of turn them against each other. As I said, I've got the 1/2 inch here, and I've got the 5/8 here, and then you just push them against each other. Japers. And it doesn't always cooperate nicely. That one was been on there a day or two. Could have been since, let's see, the transmission was rebuilt in 1990. So I'm guessing that's probably the last time these transmission lines were off as well. So there you go. 1990 rust, corrosion, and sticking to it business. Let's see if she's going to leak anything. Nope. She hasn't been running in a while, I'd say, if there's no fluid in the lines. Now I got to try to get over here, get this second line. Oh, I can't even see it. There it is. Heavens to Murgatroyd, Batman. This is always the one that's humdinger. I can't even see it, it's so crusty. I don't know if you guys can see it either. Can you see me over here? Nope, you can't. You're probably not going to be able to because I'm up inside. So just assume I did that one. I am trying to approach this as if I was restoring this car. So I'm trying not to just hack through things. I mean, I did the exhaust. If you wanted to save the exhaust, you'd have had to do some things. But I'm trying to, you know, I know this air conditioner is still usable. Well, actually, she's locked up, but she's rebuildable. These lines, some people can't find them anywhere. And they are still decent. I mean, they're rusty, but they'll work. So I'm just trying to approach this as if I was trying to restore this car. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm going to try to unscrew these, which is totally unnecessary if I was going to buy new ones or that sort of thing. I've got to find another. This is a 7/8, and I'm going to guess that that's probably an 11/16 or a 3/4. Which in this case it is 3/4. And so I'm going to just, I probably should have grabbed this from a lower aspect. We'll try it. I'm just going to try it. Oh, that wasn't bad at all. Okay, I got lucky there. See, she's just actually either is already loose or, look at that. That doesn't normally happen, folks. That was a gift. But this is so rusty I can't hardly get my wrench on it. So we're just going to do the best we can getting this off of here. Good heavens to Murgatroyd, Batman. Gotta love rust. Gotta love rust. You modern day hot rodders that do late model stuff or buy stuff already cleaned up. My Javelin, somebody already spent a lot of time cleaning that car up, so it is going to be a pleasure to work on that. If I ever get to work on it. But this is, a lot of these are parts cars that I work on, and I'm not, somebody else is going to clean them up. I don't have time. Yeah, I realize if I go to a swap meet, I clean up the part, I can obviously get a lot more money for my parts, but you know what? It ain't all about the money, it's about the hobby. And what fun is it if I clean the part up? Then you just bolt it on. That ain't no fun, right? You gotta have the fun of bolting it on yourself. So anyway, I'm still turning this stupid nut. But I am grateful that it came off nice and easy. And I guess we'll move on to the next one, because no sense you watching me unscrew that whole thing. Now this one is in a good spot for getting some leverage on it. It's 1 inch. Now, I don't think that I have this compressor in very tight, so we'll see what gives up first. Oh, there we go. Oh boy, she's going to want to, that line is not going to be happy. I'll try spraying it a little bit. If not, we may. Of course, it's got an old dryer on it, which is probably not much good anyway. But we'll spray it down a little bit, see if I get it loosened up. If not, we're going to just hack that baby off of there. We put a little juice on there, and oh, there we go. Look at that. Well, sort of. It's working though. We're getting it off of there. All right. So far, this car's been a peach. And that stupid, ridiculous don't need it. Weight on the back of the transmission gave me a bit of a trouble, but so far she's been real polite. Wow. I mean, let's see, this 73, 83, 93, 2003, 2013, 2023. Do the math. 51 years that this car's been sitting here. Good heavens to Murgatroyd, that's old. Wow. 73 is 51 years ago. I remember 1973. That's pretty scary. Oh well. So much for being old. There we go. See, now I saved the line. And saved this line. And the compressor. See, if I take it off the compressor, we have... This is actually part of the compressor, kind of, sort of, not really, but a little bit. So to protect it, we'll leave that on there. Now I'm just going to take off the rest of this bracket. I believe there's 2 bolts that I can see. Of course, there's always a hidden one somewhere that I probably don't see. Oh yeah, there is. But this is what holds it to the engine. So let's go ahead and zing this thing off of here, get this out of the way. Weighs like 9,625 pounds. Actually, nope, stop. Let's not do that yet. Let's get this radiator out of here, because if this is heavy, I don't want to accidentally run it through the radiator when I'm trying to lift it. Anything in here? Holy Moses. Oh no, I thought there was water in there. Nope, no water. Alright, let's get the radiator. First thing, the shroud. Then the radiator itself. Shroud looks like 7/16 bolts. We'll zing her on out of there. Kind of a good idea, right? Don't take this part, because you know you're going to take a bath. Yay. Everybody wants an antifreeze bath. But the good thing is, it has antifreeze, so it's always a good sign. God, hey, this thing is stiff. Don't want to come off. I need to slice this hose. The hose, I ain't worried about it. Radiator's falling out. Yay. Well, I got some of it in the bucket. Halfway decent looking radiator. got the starter unbolted from the top and from the bottom here. So it's just a matter of snaking her out of here. There we go. This is one of the better cars. It's not so hard to get the starter out. 9/16 jammed up on the back side of this. Now we're going to go a 9/16 on the front side. Oh, this fell off. Nope. This is rough on the old shoulders holding all this stuff up like this. See if I can get it from this angle. There we go. Yeesh. Alright, there's two. Go ahead and get this one. Whoop. There's three. The good thing about the rust in this case is it's kind of holding everything in. Gotta love rust. Alright. Getting a good shoulder burn now. Alright, now the last thing we're going to do, I'm going to loosen this one up and leave the bolt in there until I'm ready. I'm going to get a jack up underneath this, and then we're going to take her on down. It probably won't go down. Well, actually, before I do that, I'm going to pull the motor mounts. But let's go ahead and get this last bolt out, just because I like to live dangerous. Where'd my 9/16 go? Oh, there it is. Oh, gotcha. Oh, gotcha, old boy. I've got you. Alrighty. Come on, girl. Boy, girl, whatever. Oh, boy, oh, girl. A lot of dirt on that one. Alright. So let's get this one loose, but do not take it out. Alright. She's ready to come out. Now, let's turn our attention that way. To check out the motor mounts, let's get those loose so that all we have to do, actually, no, we're going to pull the pins on the motor mounts. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Doing it the opposite way on this one. There we go. That way you get to see the wrench on one side and the gun on the other. Now I've done it both ways. Motor mounts are ready to go. Now we'll get the transmission jack, pull that transmission cross member out of there, and woo! We'll be good to go. Alright, I'm going to put a little pressure on the jack. Actually, I already did. I'm going to pull this out. This is the scary part because I'm underneath it. And I'm going to bring this down and see. This should basically fall right out. So let's take a look while this is in here. Let's pry this down. Take a look, see what we got in here. Alright. Okay. Now we got this little bracket right here. That's going to stop it from going anywhere. I do want to take that little bracket off because it may make life difficult. But at this point, it's making things safer. And we like safer. So unless it becomes a problem, I'm going to leave it there. So we're going to let the jack down until it touches that plate. There we go. Which personally, that plate's helping us right now. But we do want to, it's only adding about an inch, inch and a half to the tail shaft, but I think it makes it a lot safer. So let's get this jack out of the way. All right, now I'm going to go top side. Everything's loose, so we're just going to get the engine crane on it. Well, actually, I think what we have to do now is we have to push the car out and get it off the lift. I don't think I can pull this engine with it on the lift. Probably could, but it doesn't look like fun. So, well, maybe. Let me think on this. I like to use these little carts from Harbor Freight. Put them under the transmission and lower it down on there. I've still got one bolt holding the transmission on. We'll just bring it down onto that little cart. Now we'll have to turn it so it'll fit between the wheels on the, there we go, and just lower it down. And once I've got adequate pressure now, this engine is locked. Oops. So I can't turn it to get its torque converter bolts, so we're just going to pull the converter right out of the transmission. This is always a mess, it really is. Fluids coming out of the engine. Anytime I change out an engine, it's just a mess. And this engine wasn't even that messy because a lot of fluids were out of it. So we go, we pull the last one out, and because we have, should pull the car out of the way, it'd be easier, but I'm going to try to get something in here and pry it back. I've got all the bolts out of this little pan, so they should separate without problems. That's the plan, right? If I can find a screwdriver, I think this one's a busted screwdriver, which is ideal. So that way if I break it, hey, it's already broke. So I'm just gonna, there we go. Just a little gentle persuasion. You know what, I think I prefer to pry on stuff gently. Need to bang on it and hammer on it. We'll get our flat bar. We'll just keep on prying it back until the torque converter comes out. It's probably going to make a ton of mess. Here we go. Ta-da! Now I can get at these bolts easy enough and drop the torque converter, put it with the transmission. This definitely was rebuilt. Still got the writing on it. Don't forget, it was rebuilt in 1990, so it's brand new. Well, there we go. It's out. I pulled the pan and stuff off without y'all looking. I'm sorry. It's just getting late, and I need to get this done and give the guy a call and tell him it's ready. So it's out. It does look like this rear freeze plug was leaking, so it's a good thing we took it out. But anyhow, everything else looked really good. So I think he'll be happy with this. Now I gotta pull the car all the way back into the field just to park it and get it out of the way, because it's in the way in the shop. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed it. It's probably gonna be a lot of music. I just don't, I didn't say a whole lot while I was, doing certain things. But if I was explaining something, I explained it. So let me know if you want more talking or more music, or it's just fine. I had one guy that doesn't think I'm funny. He didn't like my jokes. He said, too much nonsense. Yeah, well, that's just me. Sorry. If you don't like the nonsense, well, sorry. Not really. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. I'm going to get this car out of here and go get me some dinner and get some sleep tonight, maybe. Woo, that'd be great. So appreciate it. Please subscribe. Hit the like button if you don't mind. Tell your friends. I think you got to hit a bell thing too, so it tells you whenever. I don't know though. I don't remember ever hitting a bell, and it notifies me every time my favorite YouTubers put something on there. So I don't know. I don't really understand it, but I do appreciate the subscriptions and the likes. See ya.